Thank you, Zanny. August 25th is a day on which we remember those who lost their lives in Myanmar's genocide. It's also a day to honour and show solidarity with the survivors in their pursuit for justice, restitution and recognition of Myanmar's crimes against them. For me, it's also a day to reflect honestly on our own forms of solidarity. This year, our Rohingya brothers and sisters' attempts to organise memorial events in the camps of Bangladesh have been hampered by authorities. The Bangladesh authorities can't take their memories, though. Instead, they remember in silence in their shelters. This year, it seems, has been the year of many silences. Since the horrors of 2017, there have been important developments in Rohingya activism. Rohingya-led and organised initiatives in international circles are no longer the exception, they're the norm. Using token Rohingya voices within the parameters of NGO-defined advocacy projects no longer goes unchallenged. Rohingya have become the centre of knowledge production about themselves. And yet this past year has been a huge challenge for Rohingya activists, Myanmar activists, and those working with them. Not least because the crimes of Myanmar's generals have engulfed the entire country, and because the pandemic, with its man-made factors, has sadly taken the lives of activists, their friends, colleagues, and family members. Week after week, messages and social media feeds have become a stream of seemingly endless notifications of deaths and arrests. People desperately trying to find safety from military violence, or else trying to secure oxygen against the odds for poorly family members. With the heavy emotional toll on all the people of Myanmar, including Rohingya, and with the 360-degree conflicts as a result of the February 1st military coup, it's amazing that activists have the energy to continue with their work at all. For my activist brothers and sisters, looking after yourself and being kind to yourselves is paramount. Emphatically, it does not deplete from the value of your work. As outsiders, our solidarity can also mean not judging you for your ways of grieving, for your rage, your anger, your despondency, not judging you for the way you choose to fight back, or who you choose to fight back with, or choose not to join forces with, or for the silences you choose to hold. I'm here. We are still here. Another loss this year has been a loss of hope. The homeland to which many Rohingyas are hoping to return is in dire straits. And the human rights situation for Rohingyas in Myanmar, Bangladesh, and elsewhere has deteriorated. Importantly, human rights abusers are no longer concentrated within the Myanmar military, but also from other groups. Non-state armed groups in Rakhine, exploitative and violent gangs operating cross-border, and hybrid state and non-state criminal networks. Seemingly, there's no escape. With the acceleration of these other forms of abuses come silences. The silence of Rohingyas in camps and in diaspora, fearing reprisals and consequences for their family, friends, and communities. The silence of internationals worried about the precarious position of Rohingyas, unable to navigate the situation to find strategies that will help and not damage. And then resulting from all those silences is a lot of blame and anger, feelings of loss, frustration, and impotence. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves that it's the absence of solutions, opportunities, and protections for Rohingya survivors that enables the insecurities, violence, and exploitation. It's the structural issues that we need to keep collectively focusing on, not just the individuals who turn to crime or the actions of leaders who are powerless to solve the violence. Whilst holding in mind that Myanmar perpetrated the genocide against Rohingyas, and holding in mind that justice can only be done once Rohingyas are able to thrive and flourish in their homeland, we also need to recognise and act on the needs of Rohingyas everywhere. Rohingyas should be able to have decent lives and futures outside their country too. Maybe it's sometimes justified to temper our solidarity with our silences to make sure we do no harm. But there is no good reason to be silent about the states and international structures that create barrier after barrier Rohingya genocide survivors who simply want a future in which they can live safely, proudly, and openly as a community. With that in mind, I am still here. We are still here, and we will not be silent. Thank you.